So guys, while I was doing some side missions, I came across a place so beautiful, yet the story behind it so cruel. This is the Gleaming Abyss. The story of Gleaming Abyss started nearly 300 years ago, when a blind woman once created the worms of immortality. Later, she adopted an orphan named Bavu. She taught him the arts of immortality, but warned him about its true cost. The worms could grant you eternal life, but their consequences would be devastating. Because of this, she instructed Bavu to never use the worms to become immortal himself, only to use them to heal others. After her death, Bavu kept her words in mind and he started traveling to heal people. But things went bad. The people whom he treated followed him back to the village and demanded the worms to become immortal. When they forcefully took the worms and used them, it angered the dear Lord, and the dear Lord unleashed a storm and earthquake, and by the effect of that, whole village sank deep into the ground. And after the village sank, it became the Gleaming Abyss. After the village turned into the Gleaming Abyss, Bavu saw the consequences his mother was talking about. All the villagers who became immortal were alive but dead from inside. They lost their emotions and eventually converted into rocks. Now, 300 years later, Sun Bushi poured Liu Xinghe into the abyss. Who is Sun Bushi and who is Liu Xinghe? To know that, we would have to go to Kaifang. The Tang Emperor had a son, Li Zuo. When he was 13, Juan, a warlord, killed the Tang Emperor, its guards, and all the top ministers. Li Zuo naturally became the king as inheritance. But despite being the king, Li Zuo forcefully had to take the orders from his father's killer. And this went on for about 3 years, when Juan finally decided to become the king himself. Li Zuo was expelled from the palace from the back of an alley. At this point, he had nothing but a love of his life, someone special who gave him a bit of happiness in hard times. Liu Xingyi. She was a dancer in a royal palace. After Li Zuo was expelled, she followed him, but Li Zuo tried to send her away, as he had nothing, but she was a nobleman's daughter and she had a bright future ahead of her. She eventually agreed and said, "Let me show you the warrior dance one last time." Li Zuo agreed. During the dance, he couldn't hold back his tears. He knew that this is the only moment he would ever feel alive in his whole life. And this is how their farewell was. Not long after, Juan ordered a silver needle doctor, Sun Bushi, to poison Li Zuo. But Liu Xinghe somehow found out and disguised herself as Li Zuo and drank the poison. But Sun Bushi later discovered that Liu Xingyi survived due to her rare body type. Sun Bushi hid this fact from the whole nation. No one knew that Liu Xingyi was alive except Sun Bushi. Sun Bushi wanted to create a world where he was immortal and everyone obeyed him. So he took Liu Xingyi to the gleaming abyss that he has discovered earlier. After years of research, has already known that the worms of immortality needed poison to survive. So the doctor soaked Liu Xingyi in poisonous water of gleaming abyss to make her the host of worms. And then the doctor experimented on Liu Xingyi for several years. The experiment brought massive pain every time, but she didn't cry nor begged for mercy. When the pain became unbearable, she just wrote one letter, Zuo. Her love towards Zuo was really deep. Moving on, the Dr. Sun Bushi also made Liu Xingyi dance to attract nearby villagers, but none of them had Liu Xingyi's rare body type, so everyone turned into dream puppets. After a few years of experiment, Liu Xingyi became immortal, but she didn't want to live a life of pain, so she tried to kill herself countless times. Soon after, Sun Bushi gave up on trying to become immortal. But at the time he left the abyss, the worms started to erase the memories of Liu Xingyi. Her rare body type saved her from converting into stone, but couldn't save her memories. Clueless Liu Xingyi, who had just lost her memories, heard a child crying. The child's parent, not long ago, walked into this abyss and couldn't survive because of the poisonous environment. But the child survived because it has the same body type as Liu Xingyi. Liu Xingyi raised that child for several years. And finally, the moment you all have been waiting for came. Li Zuo heard about the stories of immortality and finally stepped into the gleaming abyss. He was so shocked to find out that Liu Xinghe was alive. After finding out that the love of her life was alive, Li Zuo begged the master of Sun Bushi to restore her memories. But even after many attempts, he could not recover all the memories. But as the days passed, Liu Xinghe's memories slowly started to recover. Liu Xinghe and Li Zuo lived a happy married life for quite some time. But then, she remembered how she attracted countless villagers into the abyss and became the reason of their death. The guilt crushed her, so she took her own life. This moment destroyed Li Zuo, and Li Zuo had completely lost his trust in kindness. Zuo decided if the world is too cruel for kind people, he would remake it. He would build a kingdom ruled by the one without desire, without pain, without death. And by remaking the world, he meant to destroy the current one. But to do all that, he needed a ruler. Li Zuo turned his eyes towards the son his wife has raised and experimented on him the same way that the mad doctor had did on his wife. But Li Zuo didn't have a dream to become immortal. He wanted to create a monster that can destroy the whole world. And he was successful. He converted the son his wife has raised into the Void King. He believed no one can defeat Void King until a strong swordsman with sword in his right hand and a child in his left defeated the Void King alone. The swordsman was Uncle Jiang. After that, Li Zuo disowned Void King, but all the Void King ever wanted was to be loved by someone. Li Zuo said, "If you can collect 1000 skulls, I will make you the king of my kingdom again." The Void King decided to collect the 1000 skulls in a place where his mother has raised him. Until this day, he have collected 999 skulls. But unfortunately, his 1000th skull was my skull. Void King thought that he would be loved someday, but he didn't realize that the worms keeping him immortal have already decayed his inner feelings entirely. He was nothing but an emotionless monster, so I granted him the peace his soul was waiting for. Even in his last moment, he saw the face of his master, whom he believed was his father, but Li Zuo didn't saw him as a son. So guys, this was the story of the leader of Orient Pavilion, Li Zuo. Till this day, he is trying to destroy the world somehow. I hope you enjoyed today's behind story of a man who was once virtuous, but his fate made him become evil.